All right. We are here with Miss J. Carter, second grade teacher, former teacher of the year, and a good friend. Thank you for sitting down with me. Let's talk a little bit about your lesson on yesterday. Um, Again, our main focus is just standards and what we can do to get our kids on grade level mastery. I know as second grade teacher, that's not your main focus right now. Well, it is your main focus, but you want to get them to that third grade level where third, fourth, and fifth is the importance of our school. And you'll do a great job. You do a great job of that. All right. So yesterday's lesson, you focused on two different standards. One of them was the ELA 21 to 10, decoding and encoding. Just tell me a little bit about how you feel about decoding and encoding, and what you all do.
So, we have a daily dictation routine that we utilize in second grade every day. Where, for an example, if our sound for the week, our phonics pattern for the week is long O, we would use words that have long O and we sound out the word. So, for an example, if the word was coat, we would sound, the student and myself would sound out k, oat. And so I would emphasize the O sound in the middle of a word. What sound is O? What two letters make O in the middle of a word? And they would tell me OA. So sometimes when you have different phonics patterns, OA typically goes in the middle of a word. OW typically goes at the end of a word. And so they learn the rules to the different phonics patterns and sounds. We also, at the end of every lesson, like on long O, we have a decodable that has that sound in the decodable text. And we read 1 to 2 pages of the decodable every single day. And so whatever page we're reading will be the sentence that the students encode during dictation. So it may be a sentence that it may say John put on his coat. And so it's the student's responsibility on their papers to write and encode John put on his coat. And they're supposed to be responsible for being able to write that word the correct way.
Okay, so just basically your daily planning consists of consistent, um, like doing it over and over again.
Right.
Like consistency.
Consistency is definitely key. They
And
know the
then,
expectations.
so with it, so today or yesterday it was, long O, but if you changed it to something else, a new word is all week. Is that a weekly thing that you're doing when you say your daily lesson? This week it might be OA, next week it might be, I don't look, what is
long
it?
A.
Long A. Okay.
Yes, so it changes week to week based off of our phonics pattern and
Gotcha.
spelling routine.
All right, so kind of just walk me through how you structured your specific lesson to support them in like engagement and get them to do the book that you say, or have them to write this the at the very beginning. You drill it in them at the beginning of the year, and they just continue to do it.
So it becomes a routine. We start that from the very first day of school that we start doing dictation. Before, I should have said this, but prior to us doing dictation, we have a program called Haggerty, where it's pretty much the same thing, but it works on phonological awareness. Okay. So working on phonological awareness, it helps build them up for the phonics. Okay. So I incorporate that by each and every day we start off with Haggerty. Once we finish Haggerty, we flash fry word cards. We flash fry words so that they can become familiar with those. Then we do a quick sound review where I flash cards to them on different sounds. Therefore, they're used to and they're constantly being, those sounds are constantly being recycled. They're constantly seeing them so they don't forget them.
Okay. Differentiation. We all know that everybody doesn't learn the same. What is one of the strategies that you use for your students who aren't at the same level as another one? What are some of your differentiation levels or strategies?
So small group is a big one in my classroom. So I have 3 different groups. As you can see, I love sunflowers. So my first group, which is my green ones, they are the sunflowers. My middle group, which are my ones that they're yellow and they're headed towards proficiency, they are the roses. And my last group, who are not proficient and who are likely below grade level, are called the daisies. And so I differentiate instruction based off of those groups. So, for an example, honestly, my sunflowers group, which is my higher group, they really have phonics and phonological awareness mastered. Mm-hmm. So I get more into comprehension and vocabulary with them to mm-hmm. help push their I ready score. My middle group, a lot of them are confident in their ability to know the phonics patterns. However, sometimes they still need a little more practice. Mm-hmm. And my Daisy's group, which again is the group that's below grade level, they are not confident in their phonics and they still need more support. So a lot of the times we go back over those words that we've already reviewed during dictation because it doesn't hurt for them to see them again. It gets them more familiar, and we also read another page from the decodable, maybe sometimes together collectively, and we do some other activities on the phonics sound, which it may be like a sentence strip. And what I'll do is I'll put a sentence, like for example, if it said John put on his coat, I'll cut up the sentence. It'll be on one sheet of paper, and I'll cut up the sentence. And after I cut up the sentence, it's kind of jumbled up, and it's up to them to put the sentence together. And so that kind of helps them build that comprehension. But they're already familiar with the sentence. They already understand the sentence and the phonics pattern.
Okay, so like overall, how do you know? What do you think is making you know that this is working? What you're doing is working for your kids on each level.
The data lets me know.
Oh yeah, because you were top of everything this past week in our already yes. Top of everything.
So already reading, I had 113% of growth. All of my students in my class met their typical, and most of them met their stretch growth in already. So they were, and myself, we were all very, very excited. So my data, it speaks for me. It lets me know that the routine that we have going, the consistency, students know what to expect. They know that I have high expectations for them, and they know each and every day what to expect from me.
Okay, and lastly, I know I was during the lesson. You did some quizzes, and that kind of shows you how you know it's working for them because they're able to get up here on the smart board and do the quizzes and just perform.
Yes, so
that does help.
The quizzes is very similar to your professor may be more familiar with Kahoot, but mm-hmm. It's just like Kahoot, and I like to use that as a quick informal assessment to see who knows what, because of course yesterday was Wednesday when we did the lesson, but that kind of gives me an idea of who I need to focus on in small group, what group I need to focus on, because the ones who got it, I know that I don't have to drill it in them so much. Mm-hmm. But it lets me know who hasn't, who I need to work with a little more, who has the sound of long O. And overall, I would say the majority of the class, they pretty much got the skill. It was 83% after they finished the quizzes. So most of the class understands the skill and knows what they're doing.
All right. Well, listen, overall, I feel like you've got the engagement, you got them learning, you got them on the right track for everything mastering ELA. And I appreciate you.
I appreciate you also. Thank you.